Welcome back, everyone, to Felicity Was Here. I'm Heather.
I'm Melissa.
And I'm Dr. Joe.
And today is a bonus episode of the pod. We are doing our March Madness first ever, because this is the first time we've done the podcast, but first ever March Madness competition. Welcome. How's it going, ladies?
Ooh, first bonus episode. That's exciting.
I know.
I'm so nervous.
No need.
I mean, excited.
Yeah, no need to be nervous. We're going to keep it pretty casual. No full episode discussion this week. As we mentioned on the podcast last week, we are going to be selecting our Sweet 16 episodes from season 1. After we make our selections here, we're going to turn the vote over to all of you, all of our listeners, and we are going to narrow it down to the best episode of season 1 of Felicity. So just so everyone's clear, we're ranking the actual TV show episodes, not our podcast episodes. We don't care what the ranking is for those. So yeah, it's not going to be anything scientific here. We're just, running a little competition for our favorite episodes, and we want to hear what your favorite episodes are as well. So the task today, we are going to run through all the episodes of season 1, and we are going to pick if we think they should be on the bracket or if they are up for elimination. So at the end, we will have cut out 6 episodes to get down to our Sweet 16. Sound good, ladies? Should we dive in?
Yeah.
All right. First up, the pilot. To me, this seems like a no-brainer.
Obviously.
On the bracket. Yeah.
I agree with Heather this time.
It's going to be a contender.
Could have been a contender. Pilot. Yeah. No-brainer on that one. One of the best teen drama pilots probably of all time. Now, up next is episode 2, The Last Stand. So for everyone to remember, Felicity's parents, we find out, stayed in New York. They did not go home to Palo Alto, and they try to convince Felicity one last time to come back to Stanford. What do we think? Bracket or up for elimination?
I'm going to say yes, it should be in the bracket.
I'm on the fence about this one. I feel like it was so parent heavy. I don't know. I'm just going to say maybe for that one, but if you guys outvote me, that's fine.
Luckily, we have an uneven number of hosts, so we'll always have a tiebreaker. I think bracket.
Okay.
I think it was a really important episode for her, again, kind of reclaiming her independence and separating, officially from breaking cutting the umbilical cord. And yeah, Ben also receives the essay, which I think is just so awkward and Felicity.
Oh, God.
So I think we're at bracket then.
Okay, yeah.
All right, next
for now
is...
I mean, the listeners can vote later, right?
Oh, yeah. That whichever one comes out on top is definitely up to the listeners, but I think it should definitely be in there in the top 16. All right, next up, Hot Objects. Felicity's first college party. One of her Dear Sally tapes is played for the whole dorm to hear. I think bracket.
I think it's a good... Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, this is going to be obvious. Episode number 4, Boggled.
Oh, come on.
I don't even think I need to say more than Boggled, but
it's iconic. It's going to be in the top, I don't know. It's going to be in the top 4, I think.
Okay.
Hopefully.
I agree.
Episode 5 is Spooked. Halloween. Pink Power Ranger.
Yeah.
Bride of Frankenstein.
Subway.
Subway.
Barfing. Oh my God, yes.
It's one of my favorites, obviously.
Okay.
I'm all about that bracket.
All right. This is going to be a tough one, I think. But episode number 6, Cheating. Felicity rewrites
terrible.
Ben's paper. Well, what she did is terrible.
That's a rough one.
It's hard for me to watch, so that's why I just can't even put it in there. I'm sorry. I gotta say no on that one. I don't enjoy that episode. You all know this.
Joe, what about you?
But the salsa in the teeth doesn't reel you back in? The teeth flick?
Oh, yeah. That was just such a brief moment, though. That was the only redeeming part of this
That's
episode.
not worth it.
Let's just put teeth flick as its own little
honorable
side
mention.
part.
Its
Yeah.
own bracket.
Joe, what's your vote? Bracket or up for elimination?
That one's a maybe for me because I think it had some... I mean, I think I feel like I found some meaty psych character background development in all of the episodes. And I felt like that one had some good stuff, but it's also maybe because historically it's been one of the ones that it was kind of cringy to watch.
All right, we'll put it up for elimination. we might have more than 6 up for elimination, and then we'll have to continue our debate.
We can circle
Yeah.
back.
I would say it's important for moving the story along and getting Felicity to kind of move outside of her crush over Ben. Like, it's kind of forces the issue. She has to kind of get over him because he stops talking to her, basically. But it's also, it's like the worst thing she's probably ever done to date. So we'll put it up for elimination right now. All right.
Thank you.
Next is episode.
Okay. I still like it, but I don't
Yeah.
want to be like, I love
You
all
know
of them.
We have to pick some to eliminate, so
Yeah.
I know.
Yes.
I know. It's hard.
Something's got to be at the bottom if we're
Yeah.
ranking. So,
Yeah,
all right,
thank you.
episode 7,
Yeah.
Drawing the Line, Part 1. So this obviously is what leads to Julie's rape at the very end of the episode. But we also get Noel starts to try and draw the line with Felicity and having her talk about Ben all the time. And then Elena also thinks she might have to leave school because her tuition gets dropped. I think bracket only because the drawing, the Julie part of the conversation, I just think was so important culturally, even if we're looking at it like that TV would even cover that topic.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was fun to watch or good to watch, but I think it was just a really important storyline.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think it's also maybe less significant part 1 because we don't really see the aftermath
Yes.
until part 2. So I could kind of go either way on this one.
Right.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah. If I was gonna say if I could get rid of this one and keep the second, just because something's got to go,
Right.
like we said.
All right, we'll put part 1 up for elimination then. But it sounds like Drawing the Line part 2, bracket.
Yeah. Bracket.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, next. I don't think that there's going to be a debate here. If there is, I'm going to have to start breaking skulls. Episode 9, Thanksgiving.
We all know this is a gem.
Iconic.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
And Queen Carrie Russell's favorite episode. It's got to be on the bracket. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right, episode 10. Finally, it's finals, and Felicity's helping Noel. She's helping Ben. There's smart powder.
Yeah. No, that's iconic. Gotta have it.
Pretty funny.
Hilarious.
We've got the countdown to finals. Excellent bracket.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Episode 10. Give me an O.
Yeah.
It's pretty important
The
too.
tree with the fire. Okay, yeah. That's gotta have that.
And then they head off to, or that was coming back from Christmas. All right, episode 12.
Mm-hmm.
Friends. Now, when we originally discussed this episode, we thought it was maybe a filler, but at the end, we realized that
Yeah.
it was important to show Elena and Felicity getting closer as friends. But just a reminder, friends, this is where Felicity sees Blair kissing another woman who is not Elena.
That's right.
I'd be willing to cut this
I-
one. We don't have a lot of wiggle room here because there's yeah.
I'm fine with
Yeah, I
putting it up
agree.
for elimination.
So
I think
Okay.
we gotta put it up there.
All right. Now we have Todd Mulcahy, part 1 and part 2. We know where I stand, but if y'all are willing to fight for him to be on the bracket, go plead your case.
This is the hill I'm gonna die on. We need to keep both of them.
No way.
I'm just
You're
kidding, I'm
joking.
just kidding.
Like we cut
Yeah,
we
I'm
cut one of the
joking.
drawing the lines. We can't keep both Todd Mulcahy.
Okay,
I want them in there twice each.
which Todd Mulcahy episode is the least upsetting to you, Heather?
This is the least terrible.
I feel like the
you
first
you
one's
think
like more
you
funny.
think one you think we do need one of those on the bracket though? They're that important to the show.
The whole art
Yeah.
spark. and some little also upsets, discord, like some little starting of friction, tension with Felicity and Noel too. They had a little bit of a tiff there.
I was gonna say part 2 is less offensive because Todd's in a coma and barely in it. But I do
Okay.
think, part 1 is
Mhm.
probably funnier and a little bit more about like the time capsule, and we get the parallels to the letter. I don't know. I don't like either, so you can pick whichever one you want to be bracketed.
Well, should we just come back to this if we can't figure it out right now?
Yeah, put a pin in
Okay.
those.
All right, I'll put them both up for elimination, and then if we feel like one deserves to be
Of
higher,
course.
then we'll.
There you go.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
All right, next one. Episode 15, Love and Marriage. Felicity and Javier may have a green card marriage.
Well, I'm Team Javier. Anything that has more Javier in it, I would like to keep around, but I could see if it needs to get.
But he
ditched.
also
I can
leaves
understand.
in this one,
Yeah.
which is sad.
Yeah,
This is
That's
also the
devastating.
episode where Noel is dick to his brother. So
Yes.
Mm.
Ben tries out for the swim team. That's a high point.
Yeah, but is
Huh?
it an important episode overall? I don't know.
I think it was a little bit of a filler for me.
Okay.
We can
Yeah.
ditch it.
Debate.
That's okay.
Up for elimination. We'll see.
Well, just eliminate it. We can if we end up if we come up short somehow then we'll revisit all of this and see what's what.
So we're already at 6 for up for elimination. So if we keep adding to the bottom, then we can debate which ones then we want to put up in the
Okay.
the bracket.
All right.
So next is The Fugue, episode 16, which I think has to be
Super
up
important. Oh, yeah.
there. Felicity's first time.
Come on.
yeah, pretty important.
Eli.
Exactly.
Eli.
Say less.
Oh yeah, we still need to make those Team Eli shirts.
All right, episode 17, Assassins. Now, for our listeners, we obviously haven't dissected the next episode, so we will try and keep it free of huge spoilers. We may have to, mention a little things here or there just to remind us of the plot points here, but we'll try not to give anything huge away. So, Assassins, this is obviously post Eli and how Felicity and Noel deal with the next morning.
I keep it. It's important.
I think it's
Probably
important.
important, I
Yeah.
think.
All right. Episode 18, Happy Birthday. So again, Noel and Felicity have a little bit of conflict post Eli, and Noel might start apartment hunting. Ben picks up a bad habit, and Julie's mother comes back into the picture. And I think
you
this
just
is
said
also
Eli
the one
and
where
Noel are apartment hunting.
Oh.
I wish. Let me out.
That'd be interesting. And then also, we meet Megan's parents in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
That was a funny one. I
It's
like
funny.
the stuff with Megan. Yeah, I think it's important.
Yeah,
It's
keep it.
it's got Julie's birth mom stuff. So yeah, that's important.
And I think the Ben arc, the story arc in this one that starts, I think is important for the rest of the season too.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hmm.
Bracket. All right. Next is episode 19, documentary. I don't think I need to say more. Sean starts his documentary, and it ends up being about Felicity and Noel, and he gets some surprising footage there. I think documentary
Absolutely.
is extremely important. Bracket.
Mm-hmm. Bracket.
It's important. I'm gonna say something though. I don't think I like this episode a ton, but I think it's I understand why it's important. I feel like when I get to some of these later episodes, I start getting a little bit antsy or something. I don't know. I don't respond well to documentary for some reason. I don't know why. But I think it's important. So I guess I haven't watched that one in a little while. I've seen it multiple times. I just maybe I'll look at it with my fresh Dr. Joe eyes and see something new. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when we get there again.
Well, I think just how much documentary plays in the future of the show too. I
Yeah.
think it's kind of like we almost have to keep it, or at least,
Yeah,
or at
yeah.
least
I know
let
it's
our
important.
listeners vote on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I know why. Because I don't like Sean. That's probably why. Because I don't like him. I find him so annoying.
But I think like him and Richard are funny when they make the documentary.
I love
stuff.
Richard.
Yeah.
So, oh, look at these balloons. Do you see
When
the
did that
balloons?
happen?
Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Let me tell you something. So, are all of us on Apple products or just
Yeah.
because I'm on a
I'm not.
MacBook or you're not? Okay. So, I was doing a therapy session and both myself and the patient had Apple. Like, I think I'm on my laptop. They might have been on their iPhone. And I did something, I get really excited and my balloons went off in my screen. And I was like, did you see that? And they're like, yeah. Fortunately, they weren't crying or like having like some trauma dump at the moment. But it was wildly uncool to have that. And there's another time when fireworks went off in the middle of my session. And another time when a thumbs up kept popping up all over the place because my patient's wife was holding his arm and the way her hand was like in the shape of a thumbs up, the way it was wrapped around his arm, and the thumbs up just were going off. But fortunately, he was so distracted, and she was too, that neither of them saw it, but I did. It was horrible.
I had no idea this was a thing.
Shout out to Apple for all that.
Was that on Zoom?
No, it's the platform that we use is just through the web browser.
But I feel like I've seen the thumbs up thing happen on like a Zoom or Google Hangouts or Meets, whatever it's called now. I feel like the thumbs up has happened to me.
It must be because of the camera selected, the
Oh.
FaceTime camera selected. It's not like a webcam selected,
Yeah, I don't have a webcam.
So that was awkward. I just want to tell everybody if you're therapists and you are using some Apple products, like that's super awkward. So just give them some grace if that happens during a session. They didn't do it on purpose.
There's
I had no
got to be
idea.
a setting
That
to
was
turn that
awful.
off somewhere. That's weird.
I haven't looked into it because it happens so rarely, and I know I just outlined those 3 examples because those are the 3 times it's happened out of all the times I've been doing therapy. But yeah, that's the thing,
Yeah, I
folks.
just saw the balloons behind Heather. I was like, what the fuck
I didn't
is
see-
happening?
Yes.
Yeah. I was fully prepared. I was like, I know what's going on. It's messed up.
On that note.
There's my story for the week, I guess.
All right, next is episode 20, Connections. So this is where Ben's new habit gets a little out of control. Noel and Felicity are maybe just friends, maybe a little more. We're not sure. They're not sure. And Elena starts a new relationship with a person. If you know the show, you know which person this is. Yeah. This is probably one of the more
Yes.
intense episodes of the season
Mm.
with Ben's issues.
Mm-hmm. Keep it
You all think bracket? Okay.
bracket worthy.
All right. Well, we might have our Sweet 16 because I feel like the next 2 are no-brainers as well. But episode
Oh,
21 is The Force. Megan practices her
Mhm.
Wiccan religion and starts casting spells on Felicity and the people in her life and really shakes things up. It's like they're in a little snow globe and she just shakes it all up. I think this is a classic.
Keeper.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And last, episode 22, Felicity was here.
Mm.
The namesake of our podcast, one of the biggest cliffhangers in WB, CW, whatever channel history. Like that summer was the longest summer of my life, trying to waiting to figure out
Oh my
what was going to
God.
happen.
Oh my God, yes. This is
Bracket.
it. This is the episode
That's
right
it.
here.
Bracket.
I have predictions already about this one and our other favorite.
Yeah. Well, it looks like we've cut 6. I thought there was going to be
good
more.
job.
But this is your last chance with these 6 that we have up for elimination here. If you really feel like one of these should be on the bracket, it's time to speak now or forever hold your peace. So up for elimination, we have cheating, which is Felicity rewriting Ben's essay. We've got drawing the line part 1. We have friends, where Blair cheats on Elena. We have both Todd Mulcahy's, and then we have love and marriage with Javier and Felicity's green card marriage. So do you still
I'm
feel
okay
like
with this.
a Todd Mulcahy belongs
don't-
up there?
Yeah. Now looking back at all the episodes we did choose, I don't think any
Mhm.
others could be taken out for a Todd Mulcahy.
Yeah. No. He doesn't make the
No.
cut.
Just everything else
No,
too
this all makes
important.
sense.
Yeah. And just so iconic. I know we use the word all the time, but the Sweet 16 to me are iconic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, there we
They really
have
are.
it, folks. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what our listeners vote for because I know we have our favorites, but I just wonder if they line up with our listeners.
Uh-huh. That'll be interesting to see for sure.
So next up, head to our Instagram, Felicity Was Here Pod. Give us a follow there if you haven't yet. We're going to be posting each round. We got the Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final 4, and then the final, where we will narrow it down to the best episode of season 1 of Felicity. And we hope to hear from you. We'll be posting some polls for the competition in our Instagram stories, but we'll also make sure to post just in the regular Instagram posts to let you know when those polls are up in our stories. So head over there, give us a follow, and we can't wait to see who you vote for.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yay.
I mean, I think I know what 2 it'll come down to, but I don't want to sway anyone, so I'm not going to say it. I want to hear everyone's
Mhm.
actual reactions, but it'll be fun. So join us for March Madness. We'll be back in a week or 2 with our episode recap of Assassins, picking up after Felicity and Eli's steamy night in the art studio.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Felicity Was Here is produced, written, and edited by Heather, Melissa, and Dr. Joe. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Felicity Was Here Pod. If you're enjoying the pod, please leave us a review and help us spread the word. We appreciate you and would love to hear from Felicity superfans like us. So send us your feedback, ask us your burning questions, or just say hey at felicitywasherepod@gmail.com. We may even read your note in a future episode. Talk to you all next week.